Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom again and quietly wondered if this is just normal aging or a warning your body is trying to send you? Have you noticed swelling in your legs, constant fatigue, or lab numbers like creatinine slowly creeping up even though you believe you're eating healthy and drinking enough water? If that question has ever crossed your mind, then what you're about to hear could be far more important than you realize. Because here is the uncomfortable truth most people are never told. By the time kidney symptoms become obvious, silent damage may have already been happening for years. Kidney disease does not announce itself with pain. It doesn't come with dramatic warning signs. Instead, it works quietly, disrupting sleep, weakening energy, and slowly stealing filtration function day by day. And millions of adults, especially over 50, are unknowingly accelerating this damage through healthy habits that are actually harming their kidneys. I'm Dr. Johnny, and I need to say this clearly and urgently. If you wait until you feel kidney failure, you're already late. Every extra night of poor sleep, every wrong food timing choice, every hidden inflammatory habit puts more strain on kidneys that are already struggling. And the most dangerous part, many of these habits are encouraged online, shared by friends, or even recommended without full context, leaving people confused, overwhelmed, and unknowingly making things worse. But this is not a message of fear. It's a message of clarity and control. Because the kidneys are not fragile organs, they are responsive organs. When you understand how they actually work, when they repair what they fear and what they respond to, you can slow damage, stabilize function, and in many cases significantly improve kidney health even later in life. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect your kidneys the right way. You'll learn which everyday fruits can quietly reduce kidney stress, lower creatinine, and support filtration, and which ones become dangerous if used incorrectly. You'll understand why timing matters more than quantity, why nighttime habits decide kidney survival, and why avoiding a few common mistakes can make all the difference between decline and recovery. Most importantly, this is not about extreme diets or false promises. This is about simple science-backed adjustments that fit real life, the kind that actually work when done consistently. So if you care about your kidneys, your independence, and your quality of life in the years ahead, stay with me. Because what you're about to learn may prevent damage you didn't even know was happening and give your kidneys a chance to heal before it's too late. Let's start with a fruit that many people have heard about, but almost no one truly understands how to use it for kidney health: blueberries. A 61-year-old woman once told me she ate blueberries every morning because she heard they were good for the kidneys. Yet her creatinine levels barely changed. The problem wasn't the fruit, it was the expectation. Blueberries don't work like medicine. They work like a shield, quietly protecting kidney tissue from damage before it becomes irreversible. Here's why blueberries matter. The kidneys are filled with tiny blood vessels called glomerular capillaries. These vessels are extremely sensitive to oxidative stress. Once they're damaged, filtration efficiency drops, often permanently. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that specifically protect these microvessels. Research shows that regular anthocyanin intake can reduce oxidative damage in kidney tissues by up to 35%, especially in adults over 55. But here's the mistake most people make: they eat too much too often or at the wrong time. Blueberries are not meant to flood the system. A small portion, about half a cup taken earlier in the day, allows antioxidants to circulate without overloading the kidneys with natural sugars. When eaten late at night or combined with other fruits, blueberries can actually increase metabolic waste, forcing the kidneys to work harder instead of resting. Used correctly, blueberries act like a daily maintenance tool. They don't lower creatinine overnight. They don't flush the kidneys aggressively. What they do is far more valuable. They slow damage, preserve filtration capacity, and protect what you still have. For middle-aged and elderly adults, that protection is everything. Another overlooked benefit is inflammation control. Blueberries help calm low-grade inflammation that quietly erodes kidney tissue over years. Studies link consistent blueberry consumption with lower inflammatory markers such as CRP, which directly correlates with slower kidney aging. So think of blueberries not as a cure, but as insurance. Small, consistent, strategic. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the next fruit works in a completely different way, and when people use it incorrectly, it can quietly do more harm than good. If blueberries act as a protective shield for your kidneys, then mulberries work in a completely different but equally important way. They focus on what enters the kidneys in the first place, the quality of your blood. A 64-year-old man once told me he felt constantly heavy and tired, even though his diet looked healthy on paper. He wasn't eating junk food, but his blood sugar fluctuated wildly and his kidney lab numbers slowly worsened. When he added small, regular portions of mulberries to his routine, something subtle changed. His energy became steadier, morning swelling decreased, and over time his kidney markers stabilized, not dramatically but consistently. Here's the science behind that. Mulberries contain natural compounds that help moderate post-meal blood sugar spikes and improve microcirculation. For the kidneys, this matters more than most people realize. Every sharp blood sugar spike thickens the blood and increases filtration pressure inside the nephrons. Over years, that pressure damages kidney tissue. Studies show that improved glycemic stability can reduce kidney stress by up to 25%, even without major dietary changes. Mulberries also support mild blood cleansing by helping the body remove metabolic waste through the digestive system instead of forcing the kidneys to do all the work. This reduces the overall toxic load the kidneys must filter each day, especially important for adults over 60 whose filtration capacity is already reduced. But mulberries are not interchangeable with blueberries. This is where many people go wrong. Blueberries protect kidney tissue. Mulberries protect the blood flowing into the kidneys. When people mix them together in one meal or overconsume both, they overload the system with sugars and antioxidants at the same time canceling out the benefit. The correct approach is simple and gentle. Use mulberries alone in small portions, ideally mid-morning or early afternoon. Avoid late evening consumption, and don't treat them as a dessert, treat them as a supportive tool. Mulberries don't make bold promises. They work quietly, regulating rather than stimulating. And for kidney health, regulation is often more powerful than intervention. So remember this, blueberries help preserve what your kidneys still have, while mulberries help protect what reaches them every single day. But even this isn't the full picture, because the next fruit works faster, stronger, and when used incorrectly, it can actually increase kidney burden instead of reducing it. If mulberries help regulate what flows into your kidneys, then black grapes work deeper at the level of oxidative stress. This is where kidney damage accelerates quietly long before symptoms appear. A 59-year-old woman once told me she started drinking grape juice every evening because she heard grapes were good for circulation. Within weeks, her swelling worsened and her sleep became restless. Her mistake wasn't choosing grapes, it was choosing the wrong form, the wrong amount, and the wrong time. Black grapes are rich in resveratrol and polyphenols, compounds known to reduce oxidative damage in blood vessels, including those feeding the kidneys. Oxidative stress damages the delicate lining of renal capillaries, narrowing blood flow and reducing oxygen delivery to nephrons. Research shows that resveratrol can lower oxidative stress markers by up to 30%, which directly correlates with slower kidney tissue degeneration. However, black grapes are powerful, and power requires restraint. Their natural sugar content is higher than berries, and when consumed in large amounts or late in the day, they spike blood sugar and insulin. This triggers a chain reaction, thicker blood, increased filtration pressure, and nighttime kidney overload, the exact opposite of what we want. The right way to use black grapes is strategic. Small portions, earlier in the day. Whole fruit only, not juice. Juice removes fiber and concentrates sugar, forcing the kidneys to deal with a sudden metabolic surge. Whole grapes release antioxidants, slowly allowing the body to benefit without stress. Black grapes also work best alone, not mixed with other fruits. Combining them with berries or apples increases digestive fermentation and waste production, which ultimately pushes toxins back into circulation, increasing kidney workload. When used correctly, black grapes help stabilize blood vessels, improve oxygen delivery, and reduce inflammation inside kidney tissue. But they are not for daily use in large quantities. Think of them as a targeted support used a few times a week rather than a daily habit. This is why some people feel better with black grapes while others feel worse. The difference isn't the fruit, it's the strategy. So if blueberries protect and mulberries regulate, black grapes intervene, but only when handled with respect. But even this still isn't enough, because the next fruit appears gentle on the surface, yet when mistimed, it quietly disrupts nighttime kidney recovery. If black grapes require restraint because of their strength, then pomegranate demands precision because of its timing. This is one of the most misunderstood fruits in kidney health, praised for its benefits, yet often used in a way that quietly backfires. A 63-year-old woman once shared that she drank pomegranate juice every night, believing it would cleanse her kidneys while she slept. Instead, she woke up swollen, fatigued, and restless. Her kidney numbers didn't improve, they slowly worsened. The problem wasn't pomegranate itself. It was using a circulation-boosting fruit at the exact wrong time. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols and polycollagens, compounds known to improve blood vessel flexibility and increase nitric oxide production. For the kidneys, this means better circulation and oxygen delivery to stressed nephrons. Clinical studies show that pomegranate compounds can improve vascular function and reduce oxidative stress markers by up to 30–35% in adults with metabolic stress. But here's the critical detail most people miss. Improved circulation also means increased filtration activity. When pomegranate is consumed late in the day, especially in juice form, it stimulates blood flow at a time when the kidneys should be slowing down and entering repair mode. This creates nighttime overload instead of recovery. The correct use of pomegranate is earlier in the day in controlled amounts and ideally as whole seeds rather than juice. Juice strips away fiber, concentrates sugar, and delivers antioxidants too quickly. Whole seeds release these compounds, slowly allowing the kidneys to benefit without being forced into overwork. Another common mistake is using pomegranate too frequently. This fruit is not meant for daily consumption in kidney-compromised individuals. 2 to 3 times a week is often enough to support circulation without creating dependency or stress. When used properly, pomegranate can reduce inflammation, support vascular health, and enhance nutrient delivery to kidney tissue. But when mistimed, it disrupts sleep quality, increases nighttime urination, and accelerates nephron fatigue. So think of pomegranate as a tool, not a tonic. Powerful, targeted, time-sensitive. But even when circulation and oxidative stress are under control, kidney recovery still depends on one more factor, a fruit so common that most people completely underestimate its role. If pomegranate is powerful but time-sensitive, then apples work quietly, steadily, and almost invisibly. This is why many people underestimate them and why they are so valuable for kidney health, especially as we age. A 58-year-old man once said, "Apples are too ordinary to matter." He preferred exotic fruits and supplements, yet his kidney function continued to decline. When he simplified his routine and started eating half an apple consistently at the right time, his digestion improved first. Then his swelling decreased, and slowly his energy stabilized. The change wasn't dramatic, but it was real. Apples are rich in soluble fiber, especially pectin, which binds metabolic waste in the gut and reduces the amount of toxins that enter the bloodstream. When fewer toxins circulate, the kidneys have less work to do. Studies show that pectin intake can reduce circulating uremic toxins by up to 20 to 25%, a significant relief for aging kidneys. Another critical benefit is blood sugar stability. Apples have a low glycemic load, meaning they release glucose slowly. This prevents sharp blood sugar spikes that damage kidney microvessels over time. For people with insulin resistance or early diabetes, this stabilization can slow kidney decline more effectively than aggressive dietary changes. But here's where people go wrong. They eat apples at the wrong time, late at night, after heavy meals, or alongside other fruits. This causes fermentation in the gut, bloating, and increased metabolic waste, pushing more work back onto the kidneys. The right approach is simple. Eat apples earlier in the day, preferably mid-morning or early afternoon. Keep portions small, chew slowly, let the fiber do its work. Apples are not meant to stimulate, they are meant to regulate. Unlike berries or grapes, apples don't actively fight kidney damage. They maintain balance, they smooth out fluctuations, they reduce daily stress on filtration systems. For older adults, this gentle regulation is often what allows the kidneys to stabilize instead of decline. Used correctly, apples act as a bridge supporting digestion, blood sugar, and toxin management all at once. But even with the right fruits chosen and timed correctly, kidney health can still worsen because one daily habit unrelated to food quietly cancels out all these benefits. If apples quietly stabilize your system day by day, then cranberries protect something just as critical, the pathway leading to your kidneys. And this is where many people completely overlook the real danger. A 65-year-old woman once told me her kidney function kept declining despite eating well and staying hydrated. She had no pain, no fever, nothing alarming. But what she did have was frequent mild urinary infections that she brushed off as normal aging. Over time, those infections quietly traveled upward, inflaming the urinary tract and placing constant stress on her kidneys. This is where cranberries play a unique role. Cranberries contain proanthocyanidins, natural compounds that prevent harmful bacteria, especially E. coli, from attaching to the lining of the bladder and urinary tract. When bacteria can't stick, they can't colonize. And when infections don't repeat, the kidneys are spared from chronic inflammatory attacks. Science strongly supports this. Studies show that regular moderate cranberry intake can reduce recurrent urinary tract infections by 30–40%, particularly in adults over 60. That matters because repeated UTIs are one of the most under-recognized contributors to kidney decline in older adults. Each infection may seem minor, but together they create cumulative damage. However, cranberries are also one of the most misused fruits. Many people drink sweetened cranberry juice daily, believing more is better. In reality, added sugars spike blood glucose, increase inflammation, and force the kidneys to work harder, canceling out the benefit entirely. The correct use of cranberries is precise. Choose unsweetened forms or whole berries. Use small amounts. And most importantly, consume them earlier in the day, not at night. Cranberries are protective, not cleansing. They are meant to prevent problems, not flush the system aggressively. Cranberries should also be used alone, not mixed with other fruits. Their purpose is targeted urinary tract defense. When combined with sugar-heavy fruits, fermentation increases, creating waste products that push stress back onto the kidneys. When used properly, cranberries act like a security system. They don't repair kidney tissue directly, but they prevent repeated infections from slowly destroying it. For older adults, this protection can mean the difference between stable kidney function and silent decline. So remember this: apples help maintain balance, but cranberries help block threats before they reach the kidneys. But even with all 6 fruits chosen correctly, timing perfected, and infections under control, kidney health can still fail because one everyday mistake most people make completely cancels out all these benefits without them realizing it. If you've stayed with me until this moment, it tells me one important thing: you care about your kidneys, your future health, or someone you deeply love. And I want you to hear this clearly. Kidney decline does not happen overnight, and healing never comes from fear or extremes. It comes from understanding patience and doing the right small things consistently. Many people believe that once kidney problems appear, the damage is already done. But that is not the full truth. The kidneys are resilient organs. When they are supported properly with the right foods, the right timing, and the right daily habits, they can stabilize, recover function, and work more efficiently than you might expect even in later years of life. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need harsh detoxes. And you don't need to completely give up the foods you enjoy. What truly matters is how you choose, how you combine, and how you use what you eat. One fruit eaten at the wrong time can burden the kidneys, but the same fruit used correctly can support filtration, reduce inflammation, and help lower creatinine naturally. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Fewer nighttime bathroom trips, deeper, more restful sleep, lighter mornings, less swelling, more energy during the day. These are small signals that your kidneys are finally being treated with respect instead of pressure. If this video helped you understand your kidneys more clearly, please save it. Save it so you can come back to it when you feel unsure. Save it for your parents, your spouse, or your loved ones who may not know where to start. Sometimes one saved video becomes the turning point that prevents years of silent damage. And if you want to continue learning how to protect your kidneys safely and realistically, subscribe to this channel. Every week we share practical, science-based medical knowledge designed especially for middle-aged and older adults. No exaggeration, no fear-mongering, and no advice that quietly causes harm. Just clear guidance you can actually follow in real life. Remember this: your kidneys are listening to your daily habits. They respond not to one perfect meal, but to the rhythm of your life, how you sleep when you eat, how stressed you are, and how gently you treat your body. When you support that rhythm, healing becomes possible. It is never too late to start doing things differently, and it is never too small to matter. One better choice today can protect thousands of kidney cells tomorrow. One calm evening can support nighttime repair. One informed decision can slow down a process that once felt unstoppable. Thank you for giving your time, your attention, and your trust. Take care of your kidneys and they will take care of you for years to come. I'll see you in the next video.